Hello everybody, this is Professor Hill. This is a short video for our class Introduction to Ethics 2306 at St. Philip's College. And today is Sunday, January the 28th, 2018. And it's the day, first of all, it's the day that San Antonio announces a new Peace Laureate for the year. But for us, it's the day that our first assignments are due, tonight at midnight. I'd promised you I'd give you the one last bit from our first chapter, the elements of ethics we've been walking through, and we talked about how they needed, again this is right out of chapter 1, how an ethical system needs to be rational, it needs to be universal, it needs to be applied impartially. And the last thing that he says in our chapter, this is our book, Doing Ethics by Vaughn, is that we need to remember that the ethical frameworks, the structures that we use, compete with other sources of authority for us making decisions. Meaning that, look, there's lots of things which influence us as we make decisions, ethical decisions, as individuals and as a society. And this last section is just called the dominance of moral norms. And what he means by that is that there's lots of other sources of power and authority, including the laws, for example. But he says, ultimately, it's the values of a people. It's their shared beliefs. It's those social mores which come to dominate our decision-making. Meaning this, simply that, Mark Twain had a great expression. 6 words, and that is, law is sand, custom is rock. Law is sand, custom is rock. And what he meant by that is that as the values of a people change over time, the laws will change to reflect those shifting values. And we see that with lots of examples in our own American history. For example, one that just leaps to mind is slavery. Slavery was legal and accepted and justified as being completely moral. Preachers spoke in defense of it from the pulpit, saying, look, it's biblical. But what happened was, slowly over time, around the world, slavery, and whether it was moral or not, whether it was ethical or not, came into question. And that began to bump up against people who were trying to change the laws. And ultimately, those laws did change. And again, in the United States, our own American history is, we have a long, bloody civil war at the heart of that. But it's a reflection of exactly what this section of the elements of ethics is called, which is that it's the dominance of moral norms. They shape all these other things. And so again, that's the fourth of the 4 that he lists in terms of they need to be rational, universal, they need to be applied impartially, and we need to remember what we're talking about, which are moral norms that reflect the values, the culture of the people. And those things tend to dominate over other sources of authority on these issues. Listen, again, I hope that helps clarify that last section of chapter 1. I hope everybody's got their books. I hope you've been writing your contributions and making an addition to our ongoing conversation about our first discussion about the concepts from chapter 1. If you have any questions at all, contact me, let me know. Like I said, I know it's due tonight at midnight. Tomorrow morning, Monday, I'll be checking in on these things and seeing how everybody did. This is just our first one, so I'm sure we'll get better at this once we get the hang of read a chapter, reflect on it, learn the concepts, apply that to the case study. Like I said, we'll be doing a different case study every week from now till May. It's only January the 28th. But we'll get there. And again, let me know if you have any questions. In the meantime, have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.